1. Whispered "stop it" to a kid throwing paper balls at me, but the substitute assumed I was the troublemaker and sent me to another class to set an example. Joke's on him, I was the nerdy kid, so that lesson was pretty useless. 2. Mood when my 8th grade teacher called us cattle while leaving the gym earned myself 2 detentions. 3. Called my dad after school to coordinate a ride, but since phones weren't allowed at all, I got in trouble, and my dad had to come to the principal's office. He was not happy. 4. Filling my water bottle at the fountain between classes somehow led to detention or maybe even suspension. 5. Got written up for public nudity, except I was in a locked bathroom stall using the toilet. 6. Constantly in trouble because my pants were too tight. I had a 25-inch waist and curves, so they weren't staying up unless they fit snugly. 7. During 6th grade graduation practice, the teacher asked if everyone understood where to stand. I said no, because I didn't, and got lunchtime detention for deliberate insubordination. 8. Had a terrible cold and kept blowing my nose, which apparently irritated my teacher enough to give me detention. So the next day, I stuffed my bra with tissues and dramatically grabbed one every time I needed it. 9. Got a week of detention for not talking back while another student argued with a teacher. Apparently, staying silent made me a sneaky bastard. Best translation I can think of. 10. Got banned from football games, extracurriculars, and sentenced to 3 days of detention because I had a seizure after a game. VP walked by mid-seizure, got mad, and paramedics had to tell her to leave me alone. 11. Stopped for a drink at the fountain next to my classroom, turned to enter, and my teacher slammed the door in my face. After taking attendance, she let me in, but marked me tardy, then wrote me up for ISS when I questioned her logic. My mom later ripped into the principal, VP, and teacher after reminding them that my sickle cell anemia required me to stay hydrated. 12th. Spent 5 days in the hospital, fell behind in schoolwork, and got expelled because I couldn't catch up fast enough. 13. Threw a snowball during a snowball fight that the teachers started, but nearly got detention because I had committed to play college baseball and should have known better. Fortunately, other teachers overruled him. 14th. Drank water in class without asking for permission. 15. Wore clothes that didn't fit the school's unspoken rich kid dress code. My parents barely afforded tuition, so I wore hand-me-downs and self-sewn clothes, which I was still learning to make. 16. Drew a hamster smoking a cigarette. 18. Got in trouble for telling a teacher he was giving me a headache by yelling while teaching. 19. Yawned in study hall. Apparently, my yawns are so loud they resemble a mix of a whale and a moose, and I can't control them. I get yawn streaks lasting 10+ times in a row, triggered by hearing the word yawn, seeing someone yawn, or even thinking about yawning. If a serial killer were after me and got tired, I'd be doomed because they'd just follow the sound. I've been yelled at, told to shut up, and even my own kids get annoyed with me about it. 20. My kindergarten teacher put me in timeout for a valid reason, but locked me in the art supply closet. Then punished me again for playing with the supplies. In my defense, what else was I supposed to do? 21st. At a spring festival, my 9th grade girlfriend got a sunburn, so the following Monday, I was blowing on her shoulders to cool her off when a teacher saw us, assumed I was kissing her neck, and dragged us to the vice principal. Even after we explained with witnesses, I still got 3 hours of after-school detention while she got off with nothing. Also, a friend once got detention for saying, "poopy in my pants." 22nd. Got a 2-hour after-school detention for saying, "What?" because I didn't hear the teacher. 23rd. Dropped out due to ableism and mistreatment. Staff gossiped about me. My English teacher was verbally abusive, and the school psychologist refused to evaluate me for autism because a random staff member said I made eye contact. My parents were blamed for not knowing about resources we were never informed about. And despite suffering severe anxiety from age 8, I was scolded instead of supported. Since dropping out, I've become a professional musician and am much happier. 24. Had a teacher in secondary school who clearly had it out for me and gave me detention for being last in line to collect a textbook, taking off my jumper, sitting sarcastically, getting full marks on homework, which she claimed was nearly impossible, and asking for homework to be delayed because I had to work that night. 25. A kid at my school got suspended for drinking with his parents while on vacation in a country where it was legal. When he returned, a teacher saw a picture of him having a beer at dinner with his family and reported him, earning him a 5-day suspension because school rules override the outside world. 26. Got in trouble for reading my personal copy of Romeo and Juliet in the library instead of the school's copy while we were studying it. 27. When my elementary teacher asked, "Are we all ready to move on?" I answered no and got in trouble. 28. My friend dropped a Snapple at lunch, and the new vice principal accused him of throwing it as a weapon, suspending him and forcing his parents to pull him from school. 2 days later, she reviewed security footage and saw it was an accident, apologized profusely, but the damage was done. At graduation, when she handed him his diploma, he looked her in the eye and told her to go fuck herself. The only time I ever heard him swear. 29th. Played Magic: The Gathering. At lunch, the teachers thought it was gambling,